Packer and Durham, the Power Hour. And what do we do every Power Hour? We stream it on that ESPN app. You guys on Sirius XM Channel 371 as well. Of course, there are a number of other radio stations that have picked up this fine program. You can reach us at 844-SAY-ACCN, 844-SAY-ACCN. Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator at North Carolina for football, will join us later this hour. But, Wes, we have announcements to make. And we're heading down to Clemson, South Carolina. We're making his 7th appearance on Packer and Durham. One and only Dan Radakovich.
That's right. 7. Lucky 7.
Well, guys, good morning. And, you know, when you talk about Power Hour here in Clemson, it has a totally different meaning, you know, and that's something that our longtime strength coach, Joey Batson, had termed for a lot of our student athletes, football student athletes. And Joey's recovering from surgery right now. So I just want to be able to give a shout out to he and his wife, Susan, and his whole family to get well soon. And Joey's just been here forever and has done just a fantastic job. So best wishes for his speedy recovery.
Well said.
Absolutely. Well said. Great to have you back on this program. When we were told you were coming on for a special announcement, I felt that President Clemens' schedule was so occupied that you were going to be tasked with slipping some invoice to Packer for some unpaid fees or something now that Emerson has graduated and he's an empty nester from the college tuition game.
Yeah, it was either that or to tell Mark where the Clemson House sign is. It was one of those two things that, you know, we were all trying to figure out exactly what you guys were thinking what this announcement would be. But to be honest with you, this might be more important.
I hope it is because I know where after my last visit, hanging out with Dabo and John Gruden and all the bigwigs down there for the all-in ball, I found out where it is. So you can't hide that from me anymore, Dan. I know where it is. So I know that's not what this announcement is. And you're right. What you're about to tell us is much more important.
Well, you know, it's really been over the last couple of months a lot of great work by Stephanie Johnson, our SWA, Graham Neff, our deputy, and a lot of people in our department looking at the 2 women's sports that we're going to add to make sure that we maintain Title IX compliance, gender equity. That's really important for us. And as our demographics on campus have changed, it's one of those things that needed to happen. But as we move along in 2023, the spring of 23, Clemson will participate in the incredibly difficult ACC Women's Lacrosse League. With a new women's lacrosse team. And then the following spring, in 2024, Clemson will compete with Pitt, North Carolina, and North Carolina State in women's gymnastics. So those two sports, lacrosse and gymnastics, will be added to our portfolio. Really excited about both of those. It's going to be a lot of fun. Having these 50 new women approximately come into our athletic fold and really begin to participate in Clemson. And we have some work to do. We need to now start hiring coaches and updating some facilities, but really excited about it.
Dan, how difficult was it to select those sports? I mean, I'm sure you went through a crazy process there.
We did. We had a lot of other sports that expressed interest, but at the end of the day, the 2 sports that kind of aligned us best with the ACC, that were established sports that allowed us to compete at a very, very high level here in the southeastern part of the country, and obviously within the ACC, those 2 sports came to mind. And there's an awful lot of interest in both of those sports. You know, here in our area, for example, women's lacrosse has started a high school championship here in South Carolina, and certainly gymnastics throughout the Southeast has had a very strong foothold for years. So those were the 2 sports that kind of came to the top and hit a lot of the criteria for us to make that selection.
Dan, you've done this already in your tenure at Clemson with the addition of softball, which has been my goodness, in not quite 2 full seasons, as we all know from a year ago, what John Rittman has done. and what you've done from a facility perspective and a fan support perspective has been phenomenal. In adding women's lacrosse, and you said it best, I mean, this is the toughest league in the country in women's lacrosse, but yet no hesitancy about diving into that deep into the pool and understanding that that's a sport that's growing nationally in this country, I'm guessing, too.
Well, it is, and I think that when we look at the demographics of Clemson as a university, there is an awful lot of our students who come from that Northeast corridor, in addition, certainly from the state of South Carolina. So we think that we can offer the southernmost venue right now in women's lacrosse. I think that certainly, as we did with Coach Rittman, we were incredibly fortunate to have him come in and lead our softball program. It all starts at the top, and getting quality coaches for both of these sports will really dictate how quickly we're competitive. So that's our next task, and we're really looking forward to doing that over the summer.
I know that's important for Clemson. It's also important for the league, isn't it? Big picture.
Well, I hope so. I know in gymnastics it now allows the other three teams that had been there, with the addition of Clemson, that's 4, and that's our league rule for an ACC championship. So ACC now sponsors, I believe, 28 championships, which is just fantastic. Right. And that was another one of the pieces of the puzzle as we looked at which sports to add here at Clemson.
Dan, on the bigger picture for the league, it becomes the 15th women's sport, which is most among the Power 5. And you mentioned 28. That ties them for the most among Power 5 as well. So by adding women's gymnastics, essentially it takes the ACC and Jim Phillips' first year of administration kind of to the top of the line here. That's an important aspect about where this conference is going, I would think, even as your group of athletic directors continues to work together.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, ACC has always talked about being a broad-based conference, giving great opportunities to student athletes. And now that we've added this sport, it now puts us in that really great position to continue to be a leader in opportunities, not only broad-based for all men and women, but certainly for women.
All right, I want to go to something you mentioned earlier this week in a visit with Grace Rayner of The Athletic. And it's something Mark's talked about a lot, but it deserves a revisit here. You specifically talked about the relationship between yourself and President Jim Clements in that particular article as it relates to your football success. In these trying times that we've just come out of in college athletics, to now add 2 sports, can you tell us about the relationship and the support of Jim Clements, who's playing such a vital role in the ACC and now the CFP, and what that's meant to your administration in adding these 2?
Well, I think President Clements was right with us as we went through this process. We had given himself and a couple of his key staff members, Max Allen and Chip Hood, a really great analysis and presentation on all the sports that were considered. And he weighed in on the opinion as to which he thought were good. And it was really quite natural. I mean, Jim and I talked this morning before I came on this show. Mm-hmm. We do have a really great open line of communication, and I think what I tried to get across to Grace is the fact that we have this alignment really helps save time. You could get frustrated. An AD can get frustrated. A football coach can get frustrated. A president can get frustrated if there's not that great communication. And it exists here at Clemson because we do have a good line of communication, but we also trust one another, that we don't have to dive deep into every decision. It kind of flows naturally. What's important for the university is important for athletics, which is important in the case of Grace's article in our football program. So it's a pleasure and honor to be a part of an organization that works that way.
Dan, you're part of the College Football Playoff Committee. Going to be an important couple days in Chicago coming up here at the end of the week here, Thursday, Friday. Your initial thought when you heard, hey, 4-12, seemed aggressive, seemed about right. You tell me, what was your perspective?
Well, that's more opportunities for student athletes to participate. I think that we have to be really careful as we look at the student athlete and the time and effort that they're putting into the sport. But certainly if part of the process was to get more teams to participate in the college football playoff and broaden its reach, that was accomplished. I thought that the idea that this was done over 2 years with those 4 individuals, that was fantastic, that no one really got a whiff of it until the time when they thought the cake was fully baked. And now it'll be the next part of the process, which is the valuation, which is the logistics. All of those things are incredibly important as we come to a conclusion, which hopefully will happen this fall.
All right, I want to follow up on that. You sat in that room and, found the way to get the first 4 done. Then you sat there a couple more years as that process continued to evolve. Just can you shed a little light on what going to 12 might be like in that room? I mean, I know it plays out mathematically at the end, but the evaluation process to me would become even elongated, if you will.
Yeah, and Wes, I'll tell you that just very simply, 6. They're going from choosing 4 to 6 because 6 will be conference champions. So I think it's just a little bit further because right now conference championships are important, but they're not automatic. So now that we have 6 automatic berths put into the 12, the College Football Playoff Committee certainly has to continue to rank them. That's important. But really their selection is the other 6 at-large bids. So will it be a little bit different dynamic? It could be. But I don't think it's that big of a lift for them to be able to move from a committee perspective from 4 to 12.
Dan, let me get you back to Clemson. Season ticket holders, Death Valley, rocking and rolling again. There's been a lot of announcements across the country getting back to full stadiums. Big picture with the Tigers and a fan base with, I think, the best home field advantage that you can imagine. Where are you heading into the fall?
We're in a great spot, Pack. We are at 96% renewal. We can only sell 59,000 tickets. We're at about 56.5, maybe a little closer to 57,000. So we're in an incredible spot right now. We're looking for full capacity. We're looking for tailgating. We're looking for all the things that make a Saturday in Clemson, South Carolina, a special football Saturday. We're looking forward to doing that again. And it's a testament to our fans. I mean, we had so many people who stayed with us from a donation perspective, or, last year we were only allowed to have 24%. So the 18,000 that were able to be in the stadium really made a big difference for us. And we again think that the fans that we have and the home field advantage will continue to exist.
By the way, just a quick follow-up with that. I've been checking the mail lately. I still didn't get those 4 for the Georgia game yet, so I assume we got that covered, right?
Did we get that gold platinum American Express card number yet?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
That would be no.
See, that's it. Hey, let me tell you something, Pac. I worked for him for enough years that I can safely say that if you want 4, they may be available in exchange for about 13 digits.
Oh,
yeah.
Seriously, on a serious note, Dan, since you've been at Clemson and you have been involved in some monstrous games, and playoff games are different. I get it. Playoff games are different. But
Sure.
Where would you put Clemson, Georgia, in Charlotte, given both teams think they're going to the national championship, and they could? Like I said earlier, this could be the first of 2 between these 2 this year. Where would you stack this one up in terms of interest level? How many times you get that kidding around, hey, I got 4, that routine. Where would you put this game since you've been at Clemson in the big picture?
Well, it's June 17th, and we're talking about something that far ahead. I don't believe that's happened before for us. And we started the year with Georgia back in 13 and 14, and those were big games as well. But this one is just going to be huge. You mentioned all of it. I don't think you need the athletic director, either myself or Josh Brooks, to hype this game. It is just on a different level, and we are so honored to be a part of it, and we're looking forward to it. And it's going to be an exciting day at Bank of America Stadium up in Charlotte.
Yeah, it's great for college football.
No, it's unbelievable. It'll be good. But Pack, all it takes is that credit card. You can be there.
Platinum AX.
You know what? That's actually a start, because I thought you were just going to say, Pack, it's cash and a cash-only business. I thought that's what for sure that I was going to get from you on that.
I trust you, Mark. I trust you.
There you go. Of course. Because something tells me that conversation you have with President Clements when you said, hey, listen, I got to go. I'm going on Packer and Durham. I'm sensing the other end of the line went, why? Why are you doing that, Dan? You really don't have to do that.
No, he was genuinely excited about the process of us starting and announcing these two new women's sports on Packer and Durham, because he understands how important the network is to the conference, and we just want to make sure that we share this kind of great news for Clemson and the conference, on our flagship.
Amen. Love it.
Well, thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Means a lot. Congratulations on adding these two programs, and more importantly, not to say one's more important than the other, but also solidifying another championship for the ACC. That's a big step conference-wide too, and congratulations to you and President Clemens and all your staff on the hard work. And as they say, you're only in the beginning phases of this, but we look forward to watching this develop over the next couple of years.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for the opportunity today, and you have a great rest of the summer, and we'll see you in July.
We'll see you in Charlotte.
All right, you bet.
See you in Charlotte,
See you in Charlotte, Dan.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.